In this video, we are going to discuss visual hierarchy and composition. And this is simply going to teach you how you should be aligning the information that you want to communicate in a design. Should the headline be at the bottom? The headline cannot be at the bottom. That is not going to guide people well to understand the information you are trying to communicate. So how do we generally go about creating a good visual hierarchy that will communicate? Now I have a formula that goes like this. You start with your headline, you have your key details, the extra information, and then a call to action. So let us start with our headline. It has to be big and bold, and it has to grab attention. So where do we place the headline? It should be at the top. Let me grab a text tool. Let me just grab this text tool, and then I want to come around this area. So I'm going to left click on this grid and just drag this out. I'm just going to drag it roughly. It does not have to have any exact dimensions. And I want to just type anything. So for this one, it is going to be a headline. Use Control A to select all of it. Move over to this section. Now you can actually just scroll. Just click on the number and then just scroll using your mouse wheel. So we want to make the headline big and important and bold. Now while we are here, we also want to use the uppercase option. So all caps. So click on that and we have an all caps headline. Let me reduce this slightly. Let me just reduce this. Let me just reduce it to that point. Now if you have a headline that has a lot of letters or a lot of wordings, you can actually split it into two. So I'm going to double click on this, and then I'm going to grab this handle here and just reduce this to that point. Now what can I do? I'm going to duplicate this one. Left click on it, hold Alt and drag. Now we have the same headline. Now why would this be important? You could have information that requires one of these two pop more than the other one, but both of them are headlines, and that is what we are calling hierarchy. One thing will definitely be more important than the other one. So now once we have our headline, we can move over to the second thing in our hierarchy, which is our key details. And these are going to involve things like the date, time, and location. For posters, most of the time you're communicating where an event is going to be or where a forum is going to happen. So that information is usually very important. We are going to place our date, time, and location here. And this is very common for a lot of posters. So let me grab my text tool. Here is my text tool. Come over here and then just click. Let me write date. I have the date here. Select all of that using Control A. And then move over to your properties tab again, click on the number and just reduce it, just reduce it. A figure of around 50 or 49, anything within that range, and then grab your move tool and then drag it to that area. So we're just creating the hierarchy right now before we design, and then we can just duplicate. Remember how we duplicate? Hold Alt on your keyboard, left click on that layer, drag it here. Notice it is centering itself. Left click again, drag it here. We have time and we also have location. I am going to use the term pin. Let me just use the term pin to highlight a location. Let me just center these ones like that. Must these key details be here? Notice we have some shapes here. So can we have other key details around this area? Yes, we can have them around this area. So I'm going to grab this date one here, left click, hold and drag. And then let me just place it here. So let me place it there at the center and then duplicate this, hold Alt on your keyboard and then just drag and put it here. So we are just creating the hierarchy. We have not yet started designing. Now I have something in my mind that we are going to design here that is going to be a poster for an event. And these two shapes here, we are going to place the key figures that are going to be showing up for this event. This could be artists, or they could be evangelists, or they could be even speakers for this one. So where would we be putting their names? Should their names come before the date, time, and pin? No. So they will be in this area. They could also be in this area. So above each one of these shapes, if we are going to have our speakers, they can be above these names. But remember, these ones cannot come before the headline. That is the key takeaway. This is just key information, but it cannot come before the headline. So we can place them there, or we can place them on the sides. And then for the third thing within this hierarchy, we are going to talk about extra information. I am going to use this area here. Grab your text tool because this is just information. Click here and then you can just type. I want to write descriptions and offers. Again, Control A to select all of that text. Move over to your properties tab. Click on the size and just scroll with your mouse wheel. Just scroll with your mouse wheel. And then let's grab our move tool and center it. Now I'm noticing we are having an issue with the color if it is placed on a white background. So let me just double click on it, and then I can also change the color from here or from here. Either works. Just click on this and then choose a color that is very visible over a white background. Now remember, for our composition and for our spacing, we want to make sure that this fits within the canvas. So zoom in, use Alt and mouse wheel, just zoom in. And I want this to specifically fit a few squares. I am noticing it is actually, it is actually 1 square wide. It is actually just 1 square wide, so that is okay. So let us fit the canvas to our screen, Control and 0. And the last thing in our visual hierarchy is going to be our CTA, or what we call a call to action. So let us grab our text again and then just put it here. Let me write call to action. And so that we can break this monotony, we can also have another shape here. So let me grab any of these shapes, and I want to bring it here at the bottom and then zoom out slightly. Hold shift so that we can adjust the length of this and then zoom in. Remember our grid, I'm going to extend it to the left and to the right. So shift on my keyboard, grab any of these handles and then just extend. Let me just extend it to that point. Now I think we can make the text slightly smaller. Just click on the text and then move over to your properties tab and adjust the size. And we will be moving this manually for now. Let us just move this manually there and then fit to the window. Now, is this the actual design? No, this is just to show you the hierarchy that we are going to be using here. A question would be, what comes here? This will still be within the category of the information that we need to provide for anyone who is coming to our event. So let us move over to the next video.